What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can set up and customize the Refresh theme starting from complete scratch. So with that said, before we jump into it really quick, if you have not already started your Shopify store, you haven't signed up yet, you can go ahead and start your 14-day free trial by clicking the first link in the description down below. And also, if you want to learn 5 ways to instantly increase your Shopify sales, go ahead and click the second link in the description to download my free ebook that condenses everything I've learned over the years of selling products online into 5 strategies that literally anyone can use to increase their sales right away. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. So we're taking a look at the Refresh theme right here. So the Refresh theme is one of the free themes for Shopify. So Dawn is the default theme. Refresh is actually the second most popular theme here. So if we take a look at it, we can see that this is the demo. So it has like a slideshow up here with 3 different slides. We have some products right here. We have a couple of reviews. We have a few image with text sections alternating from left to right. We have another set of 4 products here. We have some rich text section right here and some icons here showing different benefits of the product. Then we have a blog section, an email section, and then the footer. So overall, this theme is best suited for smaller catalog sizes. So if you have hundreds of products, this theme probably isn't ideal for that. But if you have, let's say, anywhere from like 1 to maybe 20 products, this theme is probably going to work out really well, because you can see that this theme is very visual and it's kind of oriented more like a sales page a little bit. So you can kind of showcase a lot of the different features and benefits of your product throughout the theme here. So with that said, let's go ahead and now take a look at what it actually looks like here inside of Shopify once you install it. So in order to install Refresh, if you don't already know, you can come down to your online store and click on themes, and by default you'll have Dawn installed. But if you come down here and you'll see popular free themes, you'll see that Refresh is the next theme right here, and you can just click on add, and then it'll show up right here in your theme library, and then you click publish. And then in order to actually edit Refresh, all you have to do is click customize, which I already have opened right here. So now we can see what the actual backbone of Refresh looks like here. So we're going to take a look at the template. So we can see we have the header, which is just an announcement bar header with the menu right here. We have the slideshow, which by default comes with 3 different slides. We have this featured collection right here. Then we have the multi-column section right here. We have the 4 image with text sections like we mentioned before. Another multi-column section. The rich text section with another multi-column below it with the same background color. The blog section, the email section, and then the footer. So in order to actually build out this theme for your store, you're going to need some content up front. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. So ideally, before you start actually building out your store with this theme, there's a couple things that you're going to want to do up front. So first off, you're going to want to make sure that you have your branding set up, so your logo and your color scheme already decided. Because if you don't have this already decided, it's going to be pretty hard to design the store if you don't know what colors and stuff you're going to make it. And then also, you want to already have your product information available, and ideally already loaded your products into the store. So in this case, we can see if I come over here and come to products, we can see that I went ahead and put in 4 products here in this demo store that we're going to be building out. So make sure that before we actually start designing the theme, that you already have your products added into the store, which only takes a couple of minutes. And we're going to come back over here now, and then we can see the content we're going to need for the theme sections. So for this slideshow section right here, we're going to need 1 to 3 wallpaper images. So these images that are going to go in the background. So we can see over here, these images right here. So if you only want to use 1, you can use 1. So you don't have to use all 3 sections of the slideshow. So this is optional. So you can have 1 to 3 images. And we're going to have 4 optional icons or images for the reviews section right here. So we can see this section is going to be used for testimonials. So you don't have to use pictures here if you don't want, but if you have pictures, say, of the person that left the review, or you have icons or something to represent that, maybe you could use like star icons or something, then you can go ahead and use them right here. And then we're going to need 4 images for the image with text sections right here. So 1 image for each one of these. And then lastly, we're going to need 4 icons here for this multi-column section that's going to showcase the benefits of our product. I'd recommend gathering a lot of branding assets before actually designing your store, so that way you can just plug and play, because as long as you have all this stuff ahead of time, it's going to make this process a lot easier. But if you do want to kind of search for this content along the build out process, you can do that. It's just going to take a little bit longer. All right, so once you have all your branding content ready to go, we're going to get started right now. So let's go ahead and head over to theme settings right below sections. And we're going to do this first because this is going to build on top of everything else. So this is going to essentially be the foundation for the rest of the store. So first we're going to edit our logo. So we're going to come in here and we're going to go under logo and click select image. And then we're going to upload an image. I'm going to upload the demo logo I made for the store right here. And I'm going to click on select. And then we can go ahead and change the size by changing the desktop logo width. So I'll make it a little bit bigger. Let's see what it looks like at max. I'll keep it at max size in this case. And then we can also change our favicon image. So this is the image that shows up right here. So if you have an icon version of your logo, you're going to upload that right here. I didn't make one for this demo video, but I would recommend having a favicon. So this is where you put it in, and that's what shows up right here where the Shopify bag is showing up. And that's it. So we've got our logo set up. Now we're going to set up our colors. We're mainly going to be changing the accents. So this is where we're going to be putting in our primary colors for our brand. So in this case, what I'm going to do is the color scheme for this brand is going to be black and then this blue. And I'm basing that off of these product images that I'm using right here. So I'm pretty much just using those same colors for this demo brand. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to change accent 1 to this main color. And in order to do that, you have to get the hex color code. So if you have a photo editor like Photoshop, you can just grab it from there. But if you don't have Photoshop, you can use imagecolorpicker.com, upload your logo here, and grab the hex from there. But I have Photoshop, so I'll just go ahead and put this in right here. And now accent 1 has been changed to this color blue right here. Now I'm going to change accent 2 to the secondary color, which is going to be black. And what these accents do is it's actually going to let us change different things on our store based on these accents. So when we're editing different sections, we're normally going to be choosing between different accents and different backgrounds to decide what color scheme they have. So if we scroll down here, we can see that by changing accent 2, we changed the background for these sections. And that's because these sections were using accent 2 as the background color. So that is important to keep in mind. So this also demonstrates what this other color is for right here, the solid button label, which is used as foreground color on accent colors. So this is essentially just going to be your text color when you're using an accent background. So this just means your text is going to be white when you're using one of your accents as the background. And then we can see our text everywhere else is going to be used as the foreground on background color. Now what I'm going to do is change the text to black as well, because I don't really need the text to be blue. So I'm going to make the text black. And now we can see that the brand is looking more, it's matching the color scheme that I was looking for, which is black and blue. But one thing you'll notice that I want to showcase that's actually weird with this particular theme is that these buttons here are actually the same color as the text. So if I were to change the text to red really quick, you'll see that these buttons actually follow the same color as the text. And there's actually no way to change that within these image with text sections. Now there is ways to change that inside the slider section and other sections, but inside the image with text sections, there's not really a way to edit that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can actually change these buttons to match, in this case, my accent 1, because I want all my buttons on the store to be this accent 1 color. So I'm going to show you that in just a second. Now, as far as the rest of the editing on here, your background colors, you can probably just keep as default. Your background's just going to be this white and gray. These white and grays are a nice background to have. So in most cases, you can just keep that background, but you can edit those if you want. And then the outline button, which is going to also be used for text links, I'm going to just go ahead and change this to accent 1 as well. And then at this point, we've set up our colors. So now I'm going to click save. And then we're going to scroll down and I'm going to open up custom CSS. And this is where we're going to change these buttons right here to match the button color that I actually want. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in this bit of code here. And we're going to see that it's going to update, and it's now going to make all of the buttons within the image with text section the color that I want, the accent 1. We can see right here. So all you have to do if you want to use this for your color is you're just going to have to come in here to background color, and then right here you're going to put in your hex code. So that's all you have to do is replace this with the 6-digit hex code of your accent that you want to use, and that will change your buttons on the image with text. You'll notice that it didn't change the button color for this, but that's because we can change this on our own, so it's not really a big deal. So the last thing we can look at in theme settings is going to be the typography. So this is where you can edit the font that you want to use. So if you want to change your store-wide font, you can by coming in here and clicking change, and you can take a look at all of these different fonts. And if you click on one, you'll notice that it changes the font throughout your store. You can see right here. But in this case, I'm going to keep all of the font as default for the sake of brevity. But if you do want to use a custom font, you can do that by changing the font for all of your headings right here, and then changing the font for all your body text, which is all of the smaller text right here. So that's how you can change your fonts if you want to, but I'm going to leave it default. And now I'm going to click save to make sure we've saved our changes. And now we're going to actually start editing this store. So we're going to come back over here to sections, and we're going to just go from the top down, and we're going to fill out this entire home page. So the first thing we need to do is start with the announcement bar. So if we click on anything in here, it's going to bring it up in the editor, or we can click on it in the sidebar editor as well. Either way. So the announcement bar is pretty simple to edit. If we click on this bit right here, we can see that we can choose the color scheme we want. So we have accent 1, we have accent 2, background 1, which is white on black, and then background 2, background 1 was gray on black, and then background 2 is white on black. So in this case, I'm going to keep it as accent 1. We can have it linked to something if we want as well. In this case, I'm just going to put something simple, like free shipping on all orders, and that's it. But you can put any type of announcement you want up here. And now we can go click on the header section, and we can see that the header section by default has the inverse color scheme. So if we change it to accent 1, we can see that it does that, but we can see that my logo is also accent 1, so that makes it disappear. We can change it to accent 2, which is the black color scheme, background 2, and inverse. In this case, I'm going to keep it on accent 2. We can change the logo position, so from top left to middle left, middle center. In this case, I'm going to keep it top center. I'm going to keep a lot of the stuff default because I do think the theme looks pretty good out of the box. And then we have our menu. So we can change the menu right here if we want to have this linked to a different menu. And we can also edit our main menu just by clicking on this and add additional pages to it. Our menu type in this case is a drop-down menu. And then we have sticky header on scroll up, which means if someone scrolls down and then as soon as they start scrolling up, the header shows up. We can keep it on always, which means our header always shows up at all times. Or we can have it never, so we scroll down and the header is never there. You have to scroll all the way up. On scroll up is pretty convenient. It's not blocking people's view on the way down, but then when someone starts scrolling up, it shows up. So we're going to keep it on that. Then we have our mobile logo position. So at any time, we can check what our store looks like on mobile by coming up here and clicking mobile. And now we can change our mobile logo position from center to left. We can see that doesn't really change too much. I'm going to keep it in the center right here. And I'm going to go back to desktop. But one thing you want to do whenever you're editing is make sure you switch from desktop to mobile pretty frequently. Just that way you know that everything looks good on both devices. And then now we have some spacing and section padding. I'm not going to be messing with most of this stuff because most of you aren't going to have to customize this in depth. But all this does is really mess around with the different spacing in between, like your logo, your menu, etc. But you're most likely not going to have to do that. So we're going to click save and then move on to the slideshow. So the slideshow, we have some settings over here. So we have full width or grid. So in this case, full width I think looks better. The slide height, we can change it to adapt to first image, small, medium, or large. So if I change it to small, we can see it would be that big. Medium would be this size. Large would be this size. And adapt to the image is going to adapt based on whichever image you upload. And then lastly, we have the mobile layout, which is going to show content below. So if I go ahead and jump over to mobile, we can see that all this does is it shows our slideshow image here and then our slideshow call to action right here, versus on desktop, it's obviously overlaid on top. So we're going to keep this as default. And then we're going to click on the first actual slide to start editing. So first off, we have the image that we're going to put in the background. So if we click on select image, click on upload, we can go ahead and upload an image right here. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this image here. And I'm going to click on select. And we can see that it looks a little bit big. So what I'm actually going to do is come back up here. And I'm going to change the slide height to medium. And that's going to shrink it a bit, and we can see that this looks a lot better, in my opinion. So I'm going to come back over to the slideshow. And first off, we can change the heading right here. So this demo brand is going to be a skincare brand for men's skincare brand. So I can just type in something like, for the sake of the example here. So this could be your main descriptor of your brand right here. We have the heading size that we can choose. I'm going to keep it small because, like I said, I think a lot of the default settings look good. And then we have our subheading right here. In this case, I'm just going to grab a bit of dummy text to throw in here just for the sake of brevity. And I'm going to actually make this a bit shorter. And then we have our button label, which by default we can make this say whatever we want. But right now it says shop now. And then we can have it linked to something. So in this case, if we click on the button link, and we went to say products, we could have this link to all of our products by doing that. And now we can see the button is showing up. But now we can see that this button isn't the same color as the other buttons that we wanted. So what we can do is scroll down here to color scheme, and we can see it's set on background 2. So if we just change it to background 1, we can see now that our button is the same color. And our background's gray, which I think looks a little bit better than the white in this particular case. So now, one thing we can also change is the desktop content position. So we can see that this is kind of blocking the main part of this actual image here. So if I were to change this to bottom left, we can see that it kind of blocks less of the image now. But you could also take a look at different sections to see where you want it. In this case, I'm going to just keep it at bottom left. And then you can also change the mobile content alignment. Once again, left. Center. In this case, I'm going to actually center it. I think center looks better. And then I'm going to click save, go back to desktop, and we've went ahead and added one slide. So if you have 2 more slides, you can just literally do the same exact process. In my case, I don't actually have 2 more slides, so I'm just going to keep this one basic right here. So if you don't have 2 more, you can click on these other ones and just click remove block down here. And it goes ahead and disappears, and now your default is just going to be this one slide all the time. So now we have our next section, which is the featured collection. So in order to have a featured collection actually show up, we need to have products in a collection. So in this case, we're showing 4 products. If you come over here to maximum products to show, we can change this to a different amount. So you can change it to 7, 25. In this case, I'm going to keep it on 4 because I think with this theme, you're not going to want to have a bunch of products showing up right here. So in order to actually get products to show up, we need to actually select a collection, which right now is the home page, but which right now doesn't exist. So this is where having the products already set up comes into play. So if we come over to our products here and we click on collections, I'm going to go ahead and just open up the homepage collection, or you can choose to create a new one, but I'm going to open up the homepage collection, and I'm going to browse products, and I'm just going to add all 4 of our products into the homepage collection. So products updated. So now if I come over here and click on homepage, we can see all of our products are now showing up. So I'm going to click select. And now really the only thing you have to do is make a title for this. So you just put in a heading for this section, and then you're pretty much good to go. Now, like I said, you can go ahead and change the amount of products you want to showcase in here if you have more, or if you only have, say, 3 products, you can change it down to 3, and then you can change the columns down to 3 as well, and you can see that that's what it would look like. But in this case, we do have 4, so we'll be sticking with 4. And you could type in a description if you want. So if I put in the description right here, we can see that it shows up right there. In this case, I'm going to leave that blank and then click on save. So now we're going to start actually breezing through this, because you should be getting the hang of how to actually edit these sections. And you can also edit the color section if you wanted to right here. We're going to keep the background as it is. Now we're going to open up this multi-column section next, which is the reviews section, essentially. So first off, I'm going to give this a heading. So I'm going to just say what our customers are saying. And we can see that's going to show up right here. I'm going to make the heading a bit smaller. And now I'm going to actually edit these individual columns here. So in order to do this, we can have an image, we can have a heading, and we can have a description. So in this case, I'll make the heading, let's say the person's name. So let's say Mark left the first review. And I'm going to use an image of an icon of 5 stars to use just to make this look a little better. I'm going to go ahead and select this right here. And then I can actually put in the review right down here. And what I can do is I can repeat this same process for each one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick, and I'll be right back. So I went ahead and just duplicated the entire setup right here. Put in 4 different reviews by putting the customer name in the heading and then putting the review in the description. Now you can use these multi-column sections for something different. So you could actually put features or benefits in these sections and have different icons, but we're going to actually be doing that with the next multi-column section. So I'm going to use this first one for reviews. And then once you've done this, we can go ahead and click save. And maybe if you didn't want to use these star icons, you could go ahead and use actually a photo of the customer if you had that, for example. Now the next section here is going to be the first image with text. So we have 4 image with text sections right here. So in this case, we could showcase different products, different collections, etc. So in this particular case, since I have 4 products, I'm going to showcase each individual product in here. So each individual product, and then the last one's going to be the bundle product. So in order to actually edit these, we just need to go ahead and click on it. And since I'm going to be showcasing products, what I want to do is just open up products over here really quick, just so I can duplicate these descriptions over here quickly. First thing we can do is edit the section as a whole. So we're going to add in the associated image. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and upload the image. I'm going to upload the first image we have. I'm going to click on select. I'm going to change the image to small because I think that looks the best. Now you can go based on what your personal preference is. In this case, I think small is going to look the best. And you can go ahead and change the alignments and setups right here as well. But we're not going to change too much of this stuff because it looks pretty good as it is. So now I'm going to click on the actual text itself. And this is where we put in the title. So in this case, I'm just going to use the product title. So I'm just going to put that in the heading. We can change it from large to medium. I think in this case, medium actually looks better. And then we have the content right here where I'm just going to put in the product description. And then lastly, we have the button. So the button, we're just going to link to this exact product. So I'm going to open up this product, and this is the cleanser. So we've went ahead and created this section. So now it's going to be extremely quick to create these next ones. So if I open up this next one, select image, We're going to go ahead and put in the same one again. We're going to go ahead and put in, so we're going to put in this one. We can see this one's already set to small. And we can see that they're alternating from right to left, which is definitely a good look. We're going to come down here. Put in the title. Make it medium, so that way it fits, because we want all of these sections to look the same, so that way it looks congruent. And then we're going to go to our button, and we're going to link to this product, which is the toner. And I'm going to save because we've edited a couple sections without saving here. So I'm going to pause the video and edit these really quick. So as you can see, I went ahead and finished up these last sections where I was pretty much doing the same thing, except on this last one, we can see this image is a little bit bigger. So if I actually changed the image to small, it actually gets clipped a little bit. So this last image actually is medium, which I think fits fine because it makes sense because this is a bundle. So it makes sense that it has a bigger image. So we can see here this looks pretty good, and every section was easy to make. It was a simple formula of, if you're using products, you can just put your product image, product title, product description, and the shop button. Now you could also link to different collections. Let's say in this example we were doing like facial cleansers, body cleansers, sunscreen, whatever. We could have like multiple different collections, and then instead of linking to a product, we could have a picture of the collection title, what's in the collection, and then a link to the actual collection itself. So you can use different things with these text and image sections, but we've went ahead and set that up. So I'm going to go ahead and click save now. And the next section is going to be the next featured collection. But since we only have 4 products, and you may not have a lot of products either if you're choosing to use this theme, I'm actually not going to use this section. So this is where you're going to actually learn how to remove a section if you don't know how. So if you come down here, you can just click on remove section to remove any of these big sections. You can also move them around by clicking on these 6 dots. You can see we can move this section anywhere we want. But in this case, I'm just going to remove it, because we don't really need it. Now, if you have more products, let's say you had like 8 products, then you could showcase 4 of them here and then 4 of them there. But in this case, I only have 4, so there's no need for it in my specific case. So now we have this rich text section, which essentially going to be where you can use a little bit of sales copy. So we can come down here and see what they used in the demo. So we can see why choose refresh, and then they answered the question right here. So you could use something similar. So I could click on this to edit it. Why choose skin, and then we can click on this heading and actually put in a heading, which I'll do right now. So you could put in anything you want for this heading here. You can see the rich text section is pretty basic. It's just literally a text section with text and then a heading. You can also add an additional block if you wanted to add more text, or let's say a button at the bottom. You could do that, but in this case I'm going to remove the button because, like I said, we're trying to build this theme out pretty much how it comes out of the box, because it comes out of the box looking pretty good. So if we click on the rich text section itself, we can see we can change the colors if we wanted. So if I wanted to change it to say accent 1, I could do that. So if you wanted it to be a different color, you could. If you wanted to change it to one of the background colors, you could do that as well. But I'm going to keep it on accent 2, because I think it does look good when these are the same color. So I'm going to keep these both the same black color that we have, and click save. And this next multi-column section is the same as this other one right up here. So we can see that it's the same type of section. So editing it is going to be exactly the same. It's just going to be used for a different purpose. So while it was used for reviews up there, in this case, we're going to use it for features down here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in some benefits. So I'm going to click on the first multi-column. So I'm not going to have a description on these. I'm just going to have the benefits be in the heading. And then I'm going to upload an icon for these. So I'm going to upload this icon, select it right here. I'm not going to have it linked to anything. You can have it linked to something if you want, but this is just going to be part of like the benefits section. So why choose us? And this is going to be 4 different reasons why in this particular case. I'm going to click on another one, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get rid of the description, put in a heading for the benefit, upload the icon, and click save. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the next 2 because it's going to be the same process, and I'll be right back. So I went ahead and added the other sections in. And one thing I want to do is actually just add some more words to this one, just because every other one is 2 rows. So I'm just going to add another word to this just so everything looks a little bit more congruent. And now I'm going to click save. So now we can see that this section looks good. So we have why choose us, and then we have the reason why here in the title, and then we have 4 more reasons why based on these different icons. So this is definitely a good way to utilize this section of the theme, is why choose us, reason why, and then 4 icons showing like benefits, features, or whatever. So now that that section's done, we're going to come down here to blog post. So this is where your blog will show up if you have blog posts. If you don't have a blog yet, you can remove this section and replace it with something else, or just remove it entirely. I would recommend over time definitely having a blog, because content is good for marketing and you can do SEO on your blog post, etc., to get traffic, free traffic to your store. But if you don't have a blog, you can actually just remove this. But if you do have one, then I would recommend keeping it here because it fits nicely at the bottom of the theme. But in this case, this is a demo store, so I don't have a blog, so I'm going to have to go ahead and remove it. But we'll see once I remove it that it doesn't really look very good, because this is all black blending together right here. So we need some type of section in here to break this up. So if I click on add section, we can go ahead and take a look at the different sections we could put in. So we had blog there, for example. We could put in a contact form. We could put in another slideshow, another image banner. In this case, I'll put in just the video section for the sake of the example. And what I'll do is I'll change the heading to something like how to apply our products. And then I could actually link to a video right here that showcases how to actually apply our products. But since I don't actually have a video, of course, I'm just going to leave that blank. And I'll just go ahead and put this image from before as the thumbnail, just so it's actually not blank here. And then I'll click on save. And then lastly, we're going to take a look at the footer. So if we open up the footer, we can see that we have 4 different sections. So we have the shop section, the about section, our mission, and then a picture. So the shop section, if we open it up, we can see that it just says shop, and then it says footer menu. So if we came over here to the demo theme, we can see that what they did is they have the shop section and it links to their different collections. So you could create an alternative menu, like say footer menu number 2, that would go ahead and show up and only showcase your different collections or whatever. Or you could actually replace this section with something else. So in this case, I'm going to just change this section to links, and then that's going to have our footer menu right here. And our second section is a menu, but I'm going to actually change this from a menu. So I'm going to add a block, and I'm going to just add text. I'm going to grab this text, drag it up to here, and then I'm going to grab the about menu and remove it. So then this heading right here, in this case, I'll just make it a contact us. So we could have phone, you could have email, and then you could have your business address, which I'm not going to type in right now. And then this next section, your mission here. So you could actually type in a mission. In this case, I'm not going to do that. I'll just put in the dummy text. And then lastly, we have the image section, which in this case, I'm going to just put in my logo again. So I'm going to click on select image, and I'm going to put the logo in. I'm going to click select, and we are going to change the image width to make it a bit bigger so it looks better. And actually, what I'm going to do, what I think would actually look better to blend in with the rest of this menu, is I'm going to actually change this once again. I'm going to upload a new one because I actually have a white version of this logo. So I think that would look a little bit more subtle on the footer. So I'm going to do that. We'll make it a little bit bigger, see what that looks like. And now I'll click on save. And just like that, we've created our footer. Now, obviously, you can customize the footer however you want. So if you wanted to use different sections, you can choose to do that. But in this case, keeping it simple with one footer menu, contact, mission, and then your logo. And there's just one thing we have to fix real quick. We can see that the email sign up, when we inserted the video, we inserted it in the wrong section. So we just need to drag the video above the email sign up. And now we can see that everything looks good. So if we scroll up, we can see that everything Makes sense. We've created a good looking Shopify store with the refresh theme in just about 30 minutes. So that's the home page, and you can edit all of the other pages exactly the same way. So if we were to open up the product page, if I were to open up products right here, we can see that we can go ahead and edit the product page the same way. So our products by default, we have our product, we have our description, and then down here we have this section, which is the collapsible content, which we could go ahead and edit the same way. So in this case, we have highlights, scent, details, ingredients. So we could actually go in here, change these headings, change this content to fit our particular products. We can come down here and edit these sections in the exact same way. Now, for the sake of brevity, I'm not going to edit this entire page because it's pretty much the same exact thing. We're just going to be filling in these same sections that we already dealt with before. So in this case, if I were to actually be filling this out for this product, I would probably put some more product reviews here. And then with this section, I would put in like the 3-step process, since this is a bundle. So we would have like the cleanser here. So step 1, cleanse. Step 2, tone. Step 3, moisturize. And that's how I would set up this product page. But for the sake of brevity, I don't want the video to be an hour long, so we're going to stop it right there. So lastly, I'm going to come over to the online store, and we're going to just take a look at what it looks like live. So now we're looking at the store live, and we can see that it looks pretty good. So we can take a look, scroll down, and we can see that it looks clean, looks professional, and it only took us about 30 minutes. Like I said, if you have all of this required information up front, it's going to be very easy. And then all you have to do is rinse and repeat this exact same process with your individual product pages like we just discussed. So with that said, that's how you can go ahead and create a Shopify store using the refresh theme and customize the refresh theme to your liking. And as we can see, the store we just created looks just as good as the demo right here. So with that said, if you found this video helpful, be sure to leave it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you.